So today I want to start off talking about, Great Life products because, you know, I'm full-time marketer. So promoting Great Life, I do that full time. I'm building Great Life as full-time income, full-time business. And one of the biggest things that as marketers, or if you have an office job, if you're still working and you have an office job and you're sitting behind a computer all the time or a desk, or you have a job where you don't move a lot, and part of the big thing with Great Life is their products. Great Life's products are absolutely amazing. They have their own formulas. They have been scientifically, you know, created with special ingredients that clinically are proven to do certain things. And if you have not watched, but listened to the regular dial-in calls where it's basically listen mode only, but you can go watch the replay or listen to the replays. I've posted the link, and Great Life sends them out to all members as well, so that you can listen to the replays. And I post a link regularly to the replays in this group, because Greg Gunderson, the founder of Great Life, does an amazing job explaining clinically, the ingredients and what they do for your body. He does an amazing job, and I need to get better at that, because these products that we have are proven to help people. Like blood work, coming out way better, things like that, because the products absolutely work and people get real results from them. So if you're not using the products, go to your website even and go to the products, and there's plenty of information. Go to the products tab and you can learn about them that way too. And as well, make sure that you're on those calls that Greg does, because these products, you will learn what they do for you. And, I started talking about, doing this full time, and I'm behind a computer screen all the time, spend a lot of time at my desk, and a lot of people do in their work life. And so, one of the big things for me is if I grab the right product, because I pretty much have them all and have multitudes of them all, but clear heart. Like in my family, I have a massive history of heart disease. My biological father died when he was 27, and he died from a major one-time heart attack. And it came to find out that his arteries were 98% blocked. His two major arteries were 98% blocked. And him and my mother were having what. And my ma thought he was doing what. And really what he was doing was gasping and in pain, because he had a widowmaker. It killed him instantly on top of my mom. I was 1 year old and never got to know my father. And then my father's brother died really young too as well. I think he was only 40 some. He came home from work one day, wasn't feeling good, laid down on the couch, had a heart attack and died. My grandma, my grandfather on my dad's side, I do not remember them. I remember my grandfather when I was like 3 years old. I was in the basement of my uncle Dean, which was my dad's brother, who passed away. But I was in their basement when they were building their home, and I remember being in the basement with my grandfather. And I think he passed away at like 60 some, I think. Nobody really even knows for sure how old he was, because he was kind of a different cat, wanderer, so to speak. And then most of my relatives on my dad's side all died of heart attacks. Okay. Blocked arteries, heart problems, you name it. A lot of them smoked heavily, bad health habits, stuff like that. But there are things that you can do to prevent. And, they say an ounce of prevention is worth, who wants to go and have heart bypass surgery, or, have stents put in, or any of that kind of stuff. So, you know, Clearheart, this product is proven to help people in this area. Proven. And so I take this now every single day since becoming a member of Great Life. And we have products like this that are proven to get real results and help people with many different things going on in their life. If a lot of you haven't seen the video, I think the dog's name was Maggie. Don't quote me on this, but the little dog that could barely walk, and the owners were thinking about putting the dog down, and they showed a video of how bad their dog was doing, and they gave their dog this Phytosan, and they gave their dog, I believe it was Trans Factor or it was Stem Cell. I can't remember which one. So they either gave him this one and this one, or this one and this one. I'd have to watch the video again. And they put some of it, I don't remember if it was a half a capsule with the dog's food of each of them. And the video kept playing, and of course they edited the video to show how the dog was doing, like I think within 24 hours, and then 30 days later, and the dog was actually running. And that's a real testimonial of these products and what it did for somebody's dog that they were going to put down. I'll talk to Chip and see if that video, I haven't posted it in this group yet because I need to ask him if there's permission on that video so it can be like reposted, or I'll ask Chip to post it in here actually. So if Chip, if you happen to see this, if you could post that video, that would be amazing. So, the other thing with taking care of your health, which I try to do because I'm a full-time marketer and I do this stuff for a living and spend a lot of time in front of this computer, and I didn't always do this. I wasn't always paying attention to my health. And so I notice when my blood pressure goes up, or when, I'm having a faster pulse rate, even without checking it, I can tell the difference. And every winter, because normally our winters here, except this past winter, which was really bizarre, but this winter here normally is like, we got 4 to 6 feet high snowbanks. At the end of winter, in the brutalist months, it can be 20 below zero, 30 below zero, 50 below zero, 60 below zero. And there's a place close to us that set a record of 70 some below zero. And so in the wintertime, since I've been doing this stuff full time for so long, I didn't move at all. I was like a hermit. I hate winter. All my family lives up here. Otherwise, I'd be gone south. I'd be moving south. The winters here can be just absolutely brutal. So the winter times, I'm like a hermit. I stay in the house, besides if we travel and go somewhere or anything like that. And so the other thing that I do, and I've been trying to do for several years now, is when it's nice enough out, and of course our summers and springs are really nice and all of that, and our falls are, but we do have really long winters. I First thing in the morning, I get up and I walk, and I will start by, I have almost 2 acres of land. I walk around my yard. Me and my wife start walking. We live in such a small town. There's no sidewalks. You don't really have to worry about cars much. I think the population of this little town we live in is like 600 people, maybe. Excuse me. And so we can walk up and down the streets like nothing. So we start walking around and getting that exercise first thing before we do anything, because walking is great for your health. I mean, my goal every day is to try to get in, before I do anything online or that kind of stuff, is get in 5,000 steps. And it's not very difficult to do that. And I always want to stay above that every single day, because it's proven that if you can get over 5,000 steps a day, what it does for your body. And it doesn't mean just short walks, like, you walk from here to the kitchen, or you walk from here to upstairs in your house. You need to go on a walk where it's like at least 15, 20 minutes. They say 15 minutes, 20 minutes of steady walking pace. that's way more beneficial than if you're just taking these little tiny, and adding those steps up, like your phones do, or pedometer, or whatever it's called. But I try to do that all the time, because no amount of money in the world you make from building your Great Life business can ever give you back, terrible health. That's the biggest thing that people, I mean, it can aid you in getting back your health. Of course, the more money you have, but it doesn't buy it, so to speak. So you make sure, because this is super dear to my heart. I'm a big guy. I'm 6'2.5", and I always usually weigh 240 at least. And I've been that way most of my life, even when I was an athlete, because a lot of my life I spent playing sports. I was heavy into hockey, played baseball, played softball for 20 years. I mean, 20 some years actually, as an adult even. And I got tons of physical activity, and I slowed down more once I quit playing softball, because I took a line drive to the face, and that gave me the wake up call. It was probably time to give that up. You think you got forever, and you think your movements are quick enough, but with the softball we play, the bats are, $300, $400 bats that got some pop. Like, the ball comes off the bat like 100 miles an hour, and it was time for me to give it up. So I try to always make sure I get that activity in, because of course you're taking these products, this is going to help. And we have fabulous products, and if you haven't checked them out and you haven't, taken any of them yet, and you're building Great Life, you really should, because, knowing these products and learning them and the benefits, we've already given away product to people for people to try, just because of results that we're having. My son John loves the Cherry Blaster, absolutely loves it. And if you look into what's actually in the Cherry Blaster, it's amazing. It's like, an energy drink, but without all the garbage in it. Stuff that's proven to do things for you, and not just pep you up because it's got a crap ton of caffeine in it. These products are proven. They get results for people. So, when I put those links in here to go to the recording so you can listen in, or I place the image in the, when the call's going to go on and you can dial in and do it live, do it, please. A product like this, ClearHeart, may save somebody's life. I mean, if this helps somebody keep their arteries more open, to keep their blood pressure lower, more circulation, can aid you in so many different ways, it is unreal. And then please, by all means, get some movement in your day. Get up a little bit earlier, take a walk. I can't implore you to do that enough, because life is too short the way it is. But if we constantly sit around, we don't move. It's a proven thing in life that moving helps us definitely. And, what they call the blue zones, are the areas in the world where people seem to have the best, longest lives with less ailments and disease. They are proven that they move throughout the day, and they have activities. They are active. And some of these people in their 80s and 90s can still do things like handstands. I watched a documentary on some people that were doing push-ups in their 80s and 90s with like 2 fingers on each hand. And we all think that as we get older, we're supposed to be decrepit. But that's because of a lot of the societies that we live in, like the United States. We have really bad diets, lots of food that is not whole food, and we don't move anymore because everything is digital. We live in a totally digital world where you basically have a computer in your hands and everybody's glued to it, doing texting people, watching cat videos, scrolling on Facebook. When I grew up, we had to get up to turn the channel on the TV set. So every time we wanted to change the channel, you had to get up and turn the channel. And it was no big deal. Nowadays, if somebody can't find their remote, they're like panicked because they just got to push a button. When I grew up, I had to answer the phone go in the kitchen because that's where the only one phone was, until eventually there was, the phones that you could plug in. I forget what they're even called because we've had cell phones so long now. Rechargeable, batteries in them, and then you could carry them around the house. And then usually you had more than one phone, but otherwise you had a phone on the wall, and it was dial rotary. You even had to use energy to call somebody, and it had a long cord on it, and you would strangle that thing out as far as you could. And then if your brother or sister got on the other end because you were talking to a girlfriend or boyfriend, you'd drop the phone and run upstairs if you happen to have two of them, try to kill the other one because they're listening in on your phone call. So you're expending even more energy. And every time the phone rings, you got to get up. Life is so different now. And that's why people have so many problems and end up so decrepit when they shouldn't be, because it's amazing what moving does for our bodies, our bone strength, our blood flow, our hearts, our lungs, to protect against ailments, because your body is physically moving. All of your ligaments, everything shorten the more you sit around and do nothing. And so I know this isn't just about marketing in this life today, but great life, that's what it is. It's about truly living a great life. And you can't do that if you're decrepit and falling apart. And so, I learned that a long time ago. At first, I didn't care. When I was first getting going with this stuff, I was so focused. I would just spend time computer. I wouldn't get up. I wouldn't move. I was always trying to market. I was calling people. I was getting on Zoom calls. I was reaching out to people on Facebook. I was doing videos. I was doing this, just marketing away, And over the years, I got more and more decrepit because I forgot, after I had quit playing softball and being active in sports, I forgot what it was like to move. And why did I have so many aches and pains now? And it's because I wasn't moving. And then I started moving again. I could feel my blood pressure go down. I could feel my pulse rate go back to normal every time I got busy moving for consistent long periods of time, meaning, months, and getting it into a habit. Do I struggle at it sometimes? Absolutely. I get busy like other people, and sometimes I make excuses and don't do it. But the older I get, the more I don't. The more I don't struggle with it, because you can either build habits of failure or build habits of success, even when it comes to making money and in your health. I think one of the reasons that I've outlived all my family, I'm 53 years old, and knock on wood, I haven't had any heart problems. I think one of the reasons, because I've always taken nutritional supplements. I've always believed there was things that you could do for your health. And I've always, hey, I may have eaten a little bit too much, but I always tried to eat more whole food, not all this prepackaged crap. I've always been a proponent of home cooked meals because that's how I grew up. When I grew up, we ate a vegetable, we ate meat, and we ate some kind of potato. And usually that wasn't French fries. It wasn't something soaked in man-made oils. It wasn't, we usually ate some kind of potato, baked potato, mashed potatoes, stuff like that, and a vegetable and meat. That's what we ate every day. We ate eggs all the time. It's a whole food loaded full of nutrition. And, knock on wood, I haven't had any problems with any of that kind of stuff. I don't take blood pressure medication. I don't have to take any kind of meds whatsoever. None. I'm 53 years old. Most people are pretty much on high blood pressure, getting pre-diabetic, and, they're starting to have some cholesterol problems. And I have one of the lowest cholesterols out of my two siblings. Theirs are both sky high. But I've always taken nutritional supplements. And I've always been an athlete prior, and I've done a lot of things to be active because it's always in the forefront of my mind because of watching so many people die in my life. So don't let that be you. Get more information about our product. Clearheart. I mean, if you're a certain age, everybody should be taking Clearheart. People are having more heart attacks now at younger ages more than ever before. We eat so much processed food in this country, and people dump Coke and Pepsi and different kinds of pop down their throat like it's going out of style. And this is not pop, by the way. This is watered down coffee. I even water down my coffee to make sure it doesn't have much caffeine in it. I know it's in a big glass. That's because I fill it like that much full of water. Usually you can see right through my glass. So it looks like I drink a lot of coffee. But anyway, consistency in everything we do in life affects everything we do. And whatever you focus on, you will attract, you will get more of. So like marketing, why do we get results with our marketing, and why have for years, why other people have struggled? Because we're consistent at it. We do it day in and day out. And it's the same thing for your health. The more you're consistent with it, an ounce of prevention, moving, the longer you're going to stay healthy because you're doing more about it and focus on eating the right foods. I mean, it's everything we can do more. We can be better. We can do more. And that's one of the biggest things one of my mentors years ago taught me was, in my 20s, I got my start in Amway. And so I think I joined Amway when I was 20. And I'm 53 now, so that was 33 years ago I joined Amway. And I was successful in Amway. Why? Because I went after it. I showed the plan to oodles and oodles and oodles of people and made myself available and went and did it and called people and blah, blah, blah. But my sponsor, no, it wasn't my sponsor. He was my sponsor's sponsor. And we lived all three of us lived in the same town. And so I would see him at all the, weekly meetings, all that kind of stuff. Because back then all the meetings were in person. And I would go to him and I would always be like, God, I showed the plan to this many people, sponsored this many this week. And he's like, God, you can do more than that. And I was like, I was looking for the, pat on the back. Like, great job, Rick. Keep going. And he looked disappointed in me. I was like, what the heck? And he's like, you can do more. And I was like, man, I'll show him, as I muddled underneath my breath and thinking, that asshole, And that's the way I felt. But it made me do more. And I went and did more. And then I come back to him a couple weeks later or whatever, and I'd be like, hey, I did this many now, and I went here and here. I drove like 300 miles to do meeting, cross town, way over here, 2 hours away here, blah, blah, blah. God, I thought you would have done more by then. It's been like 2 weeks since I talked to you. I was like, I mean, I love the guy, but I also didn't like him at the same time until I learned what he was doing to me. Because for me, that kicked me in the butt. That made me go do something. That made me stand up and be something. Because he knew I was capable of more, and I was. So it was through him keep doing that to me that it made me do more. And I kept doing more. And I carried that with me after that. And it changed my life. Because after that, I became a real go-getter on anything I did. I moved with more intent. Because that was always in my ear. You can do more. Sitting around with, he had other ways he would talk to. He knew how to talk to get inside my head. Of not being complacent. Not being lazy. He would talk in ways that was third party to implant the idea in my head. And it worked. Because I wasn't that ambitious before I got involved in Amway. I really wasn't. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life back when I was 20 years old. I was struggling immensely with what do I want to be when I grow up? What do I want to do? I gravitated towards the idea of being in business for myself. I really did. But I had no idea how I could make that possible. So I was always struggling with it. I mean, really struggling with it. I had anxiety over what was I going to do. Lots of people my age were in college. They already figured out, I got married. I had kids already. I had my first son when I was 18 years old. So I was on a different path and had to figure something out. And I just didn't have any motivation towards any career path. I had worked obviously, but it was nothing that I hated it, hated it. And when I had found Amway, that lit the fire inside my head of being in business for myself, and realized I never wanted anybody to really tell me what to do. I knew there was something in me that was eating at me, and through my sponsor, who motivated me to learn and understand that I could do more, I could be more, that motivated me and stayed with me from then forward. And so it was pretty much in business all the way to the current point now, being a Great Life distributor. All that time in business, some way, shape, or form. I've owned traditional retail stores, and I've been involved in network marketing all of that time, because the dream never left me. Was I always successful in everything I did? No. Even when I first got started using the internet, to market with, my first 2.5, almost 3 years, I sucked. I couldn't get a lead or a sign up or nothing. Couldn't even figure out how to get a lead. Now I have tens of thousands of leads. How? Because I kept doing it. I was relentless. I could do more and be more. And so I don't know what the word quit is. I don't know what quitting is. To me, that is like non-existence. I guess I'm too stupid. And I'm glad I am. I'm too stupid to quit anything. And so I will, to give you an example of that, I bought a pool table one time, and that pool table would not fit in my basement. Now, I don't know anybody who's going to be watching this if you've ever tried to move a pool table into your basement, because up here we have basements, and with a slate top on it, which the slate top weighs about 600 pounds. And I thought with like 4 or 5 guys, we could get that thing down in my basement. Problem was, we took off the legs and tried to get the other part down, and realized the way the stairs were and the ceiling, that nowhere in there, because of how long the pool table was, that it was going to fit through there. And the slate, is whatever the length of a pool table is, and it's, about that thick. And so that weighs like 600 pounds. And I knew the slate itself could fit through there somehow. But the pool table top thing looked glued, all the corners and everything. If you've ever seen a pool table and how it's made, it looked like there was no way to take that thing apart. So the people that I had over my house helping me try to move the pool table into the basement, they were like, this ain't gonna work. And I said, it'll work. And they're like, no, it's not gonna work. And my stepdad, he was there, and he's like, this ain't gonna work, Richard. I hate to tell you. And I was like, no, it's gonna work. And he's like, no, it's not. I said, it's going to work. Trust me. He goes, well, it's like midnight. We got to get going. And I was like, yeah, I understand totally. I'll get it down here. Thanks for trying to give me a hand. I appreciate it. And they're like, that's not going to work. And I said, yes, it will. You'll see. So they all left. And I spent the rest of that night figuring out how to disassemble that top of that pool table, even though it was glued in places. I took that thing carefully apart and broke the glue, even that, the connection. Took out any of the screws I could find to get that slate off of there. And once I got the slate off of there, I slid the slate between the stairs and the ceiling. And I slid it because I knew that would fit through. And so then I was very strong back then, like extremely strong. And I literally let that down to the ground without breaking it. I took those pieces, went to where the pool table was going to go, and spent all night, like I said, reassembling that pool table top, put the legs back on, glued everything together, got the slate in there because I took the slate, pushed it over, slid it on. I use leverage like we do in Great Life multi-level marketing, to build large residual income, because leverage helps you do everything. And so that leverage that I used, I was able to get that top on there. I was able to get the whole pool table put back together, and I grabbed a stick, and I grabbed a cue ball, and I racked up a thing, and I shot every one of those balls in. And I invited all those people to come back the next day, and they came over, and they were like, holy, how did you get that down here? It took all of us to carry it where we had it. I was like, I told you it would fit. And I explained to them what I did. And they're like, wow, I would have not done that. I was like, I had to have this in here. I bought this thing, bought it used from somebody that had it out in their garage. So it was easy to get in the back of my truck. And I was like, I was getting this thing down here. There's the only place for it to go. It was going down there one way or another. If I had to start removing cinder blocks out of my wall, I would have got that thing down there. Again, that's too stupid to give up on it. And I got it down there, though. And we enjoyed many games of pool on that pool table for a long time. That was in a different house though. I think I was when I did that I was God 21, 22, something like that. I don't remember how old I was. But anyway, I had no quit in me, and that's all came from my sponsor who ingrained that kind of stuff into my head, that you can be more, you can do more, you can be better, and you have to believe that, because when you do, you change everything in your life becomes much different. And that's a lot of the core things that are at Great Life. The owner, I've gotten to know the owner, Greg, the founder, and Greg is an amazing guy. I've talked to him numerous times in the last few months, because we joined in February. And so I've talked to him regularly. And we've connected really easy because I can tell inside of him that's the same way he is. I mean, I joked because one day he yawned when I was talking to him a couple days ago. And I was like, oh no. And he's like, what? I said, you yawned. And Greg was like, yeah. I was like, you don't yawn. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You sound excited 24/7. And you're, the CEO of this company, and you don't ever sound stressed out. And he's like, well, good nutritional products. I was like, yeah. I mean, for a second there, I was like, really? You yawned? Because it was so foreign to hear me or hear him yawn. Because he just sounds so full of energy. And when he does his calls, the ones I encourage you to listen in on and get people to listen to, you got prospects, got people, invite them to listen in on those calls. All they got to do is dial a number. You can give them the phone number and tell them the time, and they just dial it. And that's what's amazing is everybody's got a phone in their hand, easy to call and just listen to right in the comfort of the home. That's what I do. I dial in, put my phone on my desk, and I listen away. And Greg does such an amazing job and talks about the products and the company, the comp plan, that anybody who's listening to that with like any ambition whatsoever or has any, wanting to change their health and are aware of it and want to make more money, they're going to join. Use the stuff that's available to you. The calls. Go yourself. You're never going to convince somebody else to go there unless you listen in. I keep saying go or watch because I'm so used to webinars. But call, listen in. Do it yourself first. And guess what you'll do? You'll be like, wow, if I get some people that listen to this, they're probably going to join me. Because they're that good. I mean, they're tremendous. Invite people. Every week we post the link and we post the number for the calls and the time for the dial-in calls, and we post every Tuesday. Mark does the presentation for Great Life, and we post the link and the time for everybody to attend. But if you don't attend, not going to get anybody else to attend. It all starts with you. And the more plugged in you are, the more you're going to learn, even if it's not direct. Like sometimes some of the best training in the world is not going, here's how you get 5 leads right now. Sometimes that training is great, but sometimes that's not the best training. What the best training is believing first in what you have your hands on. So when you attend and listen in on those live calls, you're going to go, Clearheart, I should probably really take that. Oh, that might be a real good idea. It might actually help me. Yeah. That's some really great information Greg put out there. Yeah. You watch the presentation, you might go, oh, I didn't know that about the comp plan. Really? Wow, I didn't know that. Now I do. Wow, that's amazing. You mean this comp plan pays that kind of money out? And I was over there promoting this thing over here that was some squirrely money game. It was probably a Ponzi scheme anyway, over promoting a real company that has real products and has a lucrative comp plan. What was I doing? You weren't paying attention. See? How do we get such a fast start? You know, we've already personally sponsored well over 100 people in a Great Life. How did me and my son do that? Well, as soon as there was a live call that we seen we could go on, we went on it. As soon as there was a presentation we could watch, we watched it. As soon as anything took place, we immediately took action. Here's what we found, our links. All right, let's share them. I didn't even know everything yet. And it becomes more powerful, more embedding, the more information you get inside of you because you now believe in what you're doing and you realize, hey, I don't have some junky fake business that I thought was a business. I have a real opportunity that is a real company ran by a really smart guy who's really motivated and puts out some really great information that can help people's health and help them to make more money. I mean, this stuff is like, it's not rocket science. You could literally train a monkey. You literally could train a monkey to build a Great Life business. Because a monkey would just do what you tell them to do. And once you train the monkey, they get pretty good at it and they can just do it on their own. Monkeys can learn all kinds of things. But they don't have the issues that we have as people inside of our own heads of not really believing in what we're doing or what we joined. We don't really believe in ourselves enough we don't have the confidence to, reach out to that person or to take the video instructions that I screen shared exactly how to get a domain name and how to put it on clothing, how to put it on your vehicle, how to write articles with AI and post them to LinkedIn within 10 minutes. Didn't have the energy that day to watch them. A monkey would just do it and then do it. We overcomplicate everything. We make our own lives worse. Because as people, most people procrastinate by nature. We always put off till tomorrow what we should have done today. And in most cases, people put off for weeks what they should have done today. And you realize in your life, if you do things and you start training yourself to go and get it done right now, like your spouse says, hey, could you do the dishes for me? Man or female, whatever. Yep. And you get up and you go do them right now. Let's say you were watching TV. And instead of sitting there watching the TV, you said, nope, I'm going to get up right this second and go do them. Boom. Shut that off. Go to the dishes. Now go back and watch TV. Now you're going to feel better about yourself, number one. You're going to have accomplished something, number two. And the next time you go to do something and you remember what you just did inside your head of telling yourself to do it immediately, you're going to do it. And you're going to find out that you're capable of being better, doing more. There's a U.S., I think he was a admiral or general in the Navy, but he was a Navy SEAL, and he's got this famous speech that is done on YouTube. And maybe some of you have heard it where he talks about, if you just complete a task as soon as you get up, like make the bed, that even if you have a bad day, like you go off to work and you come back home and you come back to a made bed, your day is going to be a whole lot better. But what he's saying is that builds into you that to do more and to be better. And every time you complete a task quicker, like I practice it, everything that I'm telling you, I do myself. Otherwise, I wouldn't say it. My wife asked me to do something. No matter what it is, I try to always say in my head, just go do it right now. And I go do it and it's done. But then I have a lot more sense of accomplishment because I accomplished more in a day and I moved more in a day than what I would have had I put it off. And it's the same thing with marketing your Great Life business. You'll find that the more you market it and keep trying, the more you will do and you will get better at it. Because there's a saying that I came up with a long time ago, which was the repetition of doing something over and over again is the mother of all skill. Because if you do something enough times the wrong way, you're going to eventually figure out the right way to do it, or how it will work better done a different way. Because you'll get tired of getting the same result. If you keep doing it over and over again and you're not getting the result that you want, you'll start figuring out how to do it slightly different to get the result you want. And that's why for my first 2.5, 3 years that I ever tried to market online, I didn't make any money. And I just kept doing it and kept doing it and kept doing it. And pretty soon one day I got really good at it and I started to make money, like a lot, and it started to work. And now once I learned those skills, they're not cannot be taken away from me. It cannot be taken away from me. I already learned those skills. I already grew that confidence. So that's always there. So that's why when we got started with Great Life in February, why we could already sponsor over 100 people into Great Life, because nobody could take those skills away. Nobody could take that learning away I've already done, or that my son's already done in marketing, and how to do stuff, and how to, have confidence, and how to just do and not put off till tomorrow what we could have done today. Nobody can take that away. We developed habits of success, because you can easily develop habits of failure the same as you can develop habits of success. So when you program yourself, because that's what you are doing, when you program yourself to give up or to procrastinate, you are programming yourself for failure. Because your body and your brain, that's how people get addicted to smoking, as an example. Or they get addicted to chewing their fingernails. Because they do it so much, they literally program their body and their brain to do it. And that's why it's such a hard construct to stop. Even chewing your fingernails. I used to babysit my cousin, because she was a lot younger than me, and she used to suck on her thumb all the time into an age where she shouldn't have been doing it. And she literally carved a path in the roof of her mouth. That's how her mouth up in there grew, formed around her thumb. And it was so hard for her to quit. Now, what is addicting that your thumb's going to give you? Is your thumb shooting out caffeine? Is your thumb shooting out nicotine? Is your thumb shooting out alcohol? No, it's a thumb. But because she kept doing it over and over and over and over again, even her body formed to it. That's how we're made. So if you want to be successful in all that you do, you want to be successful with your health, you want to be successful with Great Life, building a massive income with Great Life, then you got to do it. You got to be it. You can't just watch it. You can't just watch it. You have to be and do it, and you will do more, you will become more, you will be better, my friends. So with that, I'm going to quit yakking on, and I try to give everything I got inside of me when I do videos and when I do these lives and stuff like that. And I'm no great speaker, I am not. I'm not this polished guy. I've said it before in my videos and stuff. I say a lot of ums and stuff like that. I'm not trying to impress you. I want for you to be able to do anything that you want and to accomplish great things in your life because you have taken what I've said to heart and used it to move your life forward in all aspects, health, wealth, your relationships. And that's what I am. The thing about me is I'm passionate about what I do. And I'm passionate about see, I can't even talk straight. Anyway, I'm passionate about relaying that messaging because I do want to move people because people can be more, do more. They can be better. They can have better relationships. They can have a world of opportunity when you take advantage of what's in your hands right now with Great Life. It's there for the taking. You just have to move. And so, with that, know that I truly care about each and every one of you. Even if I've never met you, talked to you, and I've met and talked to a lot of people, but if I haven't, I believe in you totally. If I can do this stuff, you certainly can, let me tell you. I'm no, like fashion show. You can do this if I can. All right? So, with that said, look forward to seeing you all maybe in a live webinar here soon. What we'll do, maybe instead of doing it live like this, like we talked about before, we'll do like a Zoom meeting where everybody can come on and everybody can talk. And I'm sure we'll do some of those as well as we build Great Life together. Remember, this is a journey. We're just getting started. It's only been a few months since we even got going and not even that long since we formed this group to, help build that team, build that camaraderie, and inspire people to do more, be more, and be better. So other than that, my friends, I will talk to you soon. I hope you have an amazing, great day, and see you soon.